Unit S, Concept 4. We're going to be using the formulas on the cover page on page 2 of your packets, the half-angle formulas. So refer back to those for each part. Here in Concept 4, what you have to do is we're going to do all three. We're going to do the cosine, sine, and tangent. So find the half-angle values for those. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to fill out the information given to you at the top of each problem. I encourage you to do that also for the practice problems as well, as I think it helps you with the values a little bit easier. So filling in this first one, this is our u over 2 right here. So pi over 8 is u over 2. So if I times that by 2, I get u. Okay, and that happens to be pi over 4, or 45 degrees. Okay, which will help us out. So I like to put my coordinates out here just to help me out. So at 45 degrees, my coordinates is square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. That's just going to help me out later on by having those already written out. So my half angle, my u divided by 2, is in the first quadrant. Okay, or quadrant 1. Okay, remember, we care about where u squared is. So the u squared, which is our original half angle that they give us. Okay, in this case, they're both in 1, so it's not too hard to get the right one, but later on, you want to pay attention to that. So in quadrant 1, we have our sine values are plus, and our cosine values are also plus. Remember, on your half formulas, you're given a plus and minus in front of our radicals. We only care about the one that involves the quadrant that we're in. So since plus and plus, we know which one to use. So our first one is sine u over 2 is equal to 1 minus cosine u over 2, all square rooted. Okay, so that's our formula coming from the cover page. So from there, we just fill in our values. So we get 1 minus the value of cosine u is square root of 2 over 2, all over 2, square rooted, and it is a plus, so I am going to work in my plus sign right here. Okay, now people have to put that in for that one because it's a plus. But we're going to use that, this value here. We're not going to reduce anymore because it's not going to get any better looking. There's no radicals in the bottom right now, so we're fine. You could work that out and simplify it a little bit more maybe eye-appealing, but that's the solution. All right, now moving on to cosine. I'll switch colors. Cosine u over 2 is equal to 1 plus cosine u all over 2 and square rooted. And we are dealing with a plus there as well, so we know my answer is going to have a plus in front of it. Okay, and that's 1 plus cosine of u again, which is square root of 2 over 2, all over 2, square rooted. Once again, that's my final answer. You could do some things underneath the radical to make it look a little bit different, but really nothing's going to come out of there nice, so we can just leave it there. The tough one, or the one that's going to have a little more work anyways, is going to be the tangents. Okay, and we actually have 2 for this one. So we got 1 minus cosine u over sine u, or we can choose to use sine u over 1 plus cosine u. Once again, those are off the front. They're both equal to the same thing. It's just algebraically you can move them around. Most of the time we end up with this first one, so that's what I'm going to use here. So I got tangent 1 minus square root of 2 over 2, because that's the value of cosine u. And I got sine u on the bottom, so that's square root of 2 over 2 on the bottom as well. Here we got a little bit of work, and if we remember, When you divide by something, you can actually multiply by the reciprocal. So that's what we're going to do here. So I got 1 minus square root of 2 over 2. I'm going to multiply that by 2 over square root of 2, which is the reciprocal of the denominator. So I'm going to do that product, and I get square root of 2. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room here because I know I'm going to have to multiply to get rid of that radical. Minus 2 square root of 2 over 2 square root of 2. So I just distribute this 2 over square root of 2 in. Now what I was saying was I know I'm going to have to multiply by square root of 2 over 2 to get rid of this radical in the bottom. When I do that, I end up with 2 square root of 2 over 2 minus 1. So then my solution is square root of 2, dividing this out, minus 1. So a little more work on the tangent there. But those are the values for number 2 in concept 4. I am going to also work out number 3, okay, and then you guys can work out the rest of the examples, and then you'll be doing 5 through 9 on a separate piece of paper. Once again, I can help you out in class if you need that. Okay, this is my half angle, so this is my u over 2, so I want to know what u is. So if I times this by 2, I get 225 degrees. My u divided by 2 is in quadrant 1. Nope, quadrant 2, sorry. That's in quadrant 2. Okay, so it's in quadrant 2. Sorry for that little confusion. Gotta think about that one. Which means that my sine values are still plus, but my cosines are negative. So that's just going to change on the outside of the radicals. So I'm going to go about it kind of the same way. I'm going to write down my values for the angle of u, which in this case is going to be negative square root of 2 over 2 and negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so make sure whenever you're writing this out, we care about the coordinates of 225. Okay, but when we're going to end up using our formulas, we care about the square root of u over, or the u over 2 value, which is this. So kind of a couple different things are going on there. Make sure you keep those under control. All right, so we got sine u over 2 is equal to plus 1 minus cosine u over 2 all square rooted. Okay, and that's going to equal 1 minus a negative square root of 2 over 2 all over 2 square rooted. The plus out in front. Okay, once again, the only thing I can really do here is I can make this at plus in the middle. That's about the only kind of simplifying I can do here. So I got 1 plus square root of 2 over 2 all over 2 square rooted. And it's a plus. Alright, the cosine. So cosine u over 2 is equal to a negative, because the cosine values are negative. 1 plus cosine u all over 2 and square rooted. So for this one, I get negative square roots 1 plus negative square root of 2 over 2 all over 2. Once again, there's not much I can really do there except for simplify this here. So I'm going to make this look a little better by going 1 minus square root of 2 over 2 all over 2 square rooted, and of course it's still negative. Okay, sorry about the yellow there. I will not use that color again. And the last one is tangent. Once again, we got two formulas we can use. We're just going to use the first one. and there's going to be some work involved. So I got minus cosine u over sine u. A little sloppy. Okay. So I'm just going to use the first one here. I'm not going to write the second one because I don't use it that much. Alright, and I'm going to plug in my value. So I got 1 minus negative square root of 2 over 2. I'm going to erase that and start over. Doesn't look very good. Okay, so 1 minus negative square root of 2 over 2 all over negative square root of 2 over 2. And I'm going to go to work here on this one. And I know that this is going to be negative, or 1 minus, or 1 plus, sorry, negative times a negative, square root of 2 over 2 times the reciprocal here. So this is negative 2 over square root of 2. Okay, so a few less steps here. I'm just trying to make it a little bit quicker for some of you guys. But taking this top, I just simplified the negative times the negative to make it a positive. And then I'm multiplying by this reciprocal down here so I can get a solution. So when I multiply by the reciprocal, I get negative 2 over square root of 2. Once again, I'm going to leave space because I know I'm going to have to get rid of that radical. Okay, negative times a positive is going to be negative. And then this is going to be 2 square root of 2 over 2 square root of 2. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply the first part to rationalize the denominator. So square root of 2 over square root of 2. When I do that, I get negative 2 square root of 2 over 2 minus 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and simplify the first part there. So negative square root of 2 minus 1. So that is my answer for the third, number 3. So if there's more questions, please bring those up in class. Otherwise, you need to be doing 5 through 9 on a separate piece of paper after you've completed number 4 on your packet.